It always seems impossible until it's done. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. It is better to lead from behind and to put others in front, especially when you celebrate victory when nice things occur. You take the front line when there is danger. Then people will appreciate your leadership. Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. Money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. Any man or institution that tries to rob me of my dignity will lose. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. As long as poverty, injustice and gross inequality persist in our world, none of us can truly rest. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. Our human compassion binds us the one to the other not in pity or patronizingly, but as human beings who have learned how to turn our common suffering into hope for the future. Courageous people do not fear forgiving, for the sake of peace. A good leader can engage in a debate frankly and thoroughly, knowing that at the end he and the other side must be closer, and thus emerge stronger. You don't have that idea when you are arrogant, superficial, and uninformed. There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again, before we reach the mountaintop of our desires. Let there be work, bread, water, and salt for all. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender and other discrimination. Let freedom reign. The sun never set on so glorious a human achievement. No country can really develop unless its citizens are educated. When the water starts boiling, it is foolish to turn off the heat. Only free men can negotiate. A prisoner cannot enter into contracts. If you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. It is wise to persuade people to do things, and make them think it was their own idea. Without education, your children can never really meet the challenges they will face. So it's very important to give children education and explain that they should play a role for their country. I was not a messiah, but an ordinary man who had become a leader because of extraordinary circumstances. I dream of an Africa which is in peace with itself. Even if you have a terminal disease, you don't have to sit down and mope. Enjoy life and challenge the illness that you have. Nonviolence is a good policy when the conditions permit. There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile to continue talking about peace and non-violence against a government whose only reply is savage attacks on an unarmed and defenseless people. I am confident that nobody will accuse me of selfishness if I ask to spend time, while I am still in good health, with my family, my friends, and also with myself. I should tie myself to no particular system of society other than of socialism. Unlike some politicians, I can admit to a mistake. We can't afford to be killing one another. In countries where innocent people are dying, the leaders are following their blood rather than their brains. Intervention only works when the people concerned seem to be keen for peace. I can't pretend that I'm brave and that I can beat the whole world.